Tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets across Israel tonight as unions call for a general strike tomorrow. This protest is in response to the government's failure to secure the release of more than 100 hostages still being held by Hamas. Over the weekend, the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) recovered the bodies of 6 hostages from a tunnel in Rafah, southern Gaza. According to Israel, these hostages were murdered in recent days, while Hamas claims they were killed by Israeli airstrikes. Our Middle East correspondent, Lucy Williamson, reports on the growing pressure on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Initially, there was a belief that Hamas would protect the hostages as valuable assets, particularly the younger and fitter ones who were expected to survive. However, the IDF now says that these hostages were shot by Hamas in the tunnel as Israeli forces fought above them. Among the victims were Almog Sarusi, Alexander Lobanov, Ori Danino, Eden Yareli, whose last words to her sister were, "They've caught me," and Carmel Gat, a therapist described by other hostages as their guardian angel. Carmel's family revealed that she and H. Goldberg, a 23-year-old U.S.-Israeli citizen, were supposed to be released in a deal outlined in July. Today, Carmel's cousin expressed grief, stating, "It's too late for us, it's too late for Carmel. I will never hug her again." But 101 people can still hug their families. For them, make the deal, save lives. As pressure mounts on Netanyahu, he has blamed Hamas for the failure to free the hostages. He stated that while Israel is engaged in intensive negotiations with mediators, Hamas continues to refuse any offer. "He who murders hostages does not want a deal," Netanyahu remarked. At a protest today, demonstrators displayed a red flag, signaling that the last red line has been crossed. They accused the Prime Minister of failing to sign a deal, leading to the deaths of hostages. Outside Netanyahu's office, protesters were heard shouting "a murderer," expressing their belief that he does not want to make a deal. If a deal is no longer possible, they argue, the hostages lose their value to Hamas. Amidst this, a temporary halt in fighting occurred in parts of Gaza today to allow the UN to start a 9-day rolling vaccine program, following the discovery of Gaza's first polio case in 25 years. While some welcome this pause in violence, many hope for a complete end to the conflict. In Tel Aviv tonight, the deaths of these 6 hostages have reignited the protest movement, pushing for a ceasefire deal. Tens of thousands have taken to the streets, confronting Netanyahu with a stark choice: peace in Gaza or unrest at home. Israel's labor union has announced a 1-day strike for tomorrow, which is expected to disrupt public transport, schools, hospitals, private businesses, and some flights. Israel's far-right finance minister has asked the attorney general to block the strike, signaling the government's concern over both the economic and political implications of these protests.